Dr. Disrespect has broken his silence.
Mm.
And
Not
did,
really. Not really.
Well, he did. Well, it's more than saying nothing.
Okay.
So he's done several interviews, all resulting in plus or minus about the same thing in all in every one of them. I had a link here somewhere. There it is. This is coming by way of Dexerto, who that did they combined a bunch of the interviews and pulled the quotes and stuff, because a lot of it was the same, but there were some differing things. So the doc obviously did some interviews with a bunch of different websites. I mean, it was a smattering, including the Washington Post and others. And so we have like a little bit more insight into it, but it still leaves everything very much in the land of mystery.
Did you watch his video on Twitter?
That went up. That must have gone up literally about 15 minutes after I checked his Twitter, because I checked his Twitter today in relation to this, because this stuff only popped 3 hours or so, maybe 4 hours ago. So he must have tweeted like right after I fucking looked. So I didn't see the tweet. What did he say in the tweet?
Well, it's a video.
Oh, okay.
And it's a video of like Dr. Disrespect's like silhouette, and there's a song playing, which is actually a pretty fire song. And basically the lyrics of the song is "It's out of my hands, it's out of my hands," something.
Right.
And it just slowly pans in towards Dr. Disrespect, and it's over. So it's some cryptic stuff. But yeah, essentially, I read the article too. He didn't really say much. He pretty much said, I still don't know why.
He said, "I still don't know. We just don't know. It was a shock." Obviously, you know, he talks about how it was like stressful for the family and whatnot, because obviously you just lose your job, regardless of how much money you're making.
Oh yeah,
that's always going to be fucking scary. Yeah. And then, where was it that he talked about? Okay, so, you know, Twitch has still not said anything. All they've really said is, as is our process, we take appropriate action when we have evidence that a streamer has acted in violation of our community guidelines or terms of service. These apply to all streamers regardless of status or prominence in the community, including Doc, who was just signed on with Twitch. The deal was like 2 months deep when this happened. They did talk to him about the whole theory about having his own streaming platform. He said it's crazy speculation, not worth commenting on. But he did say, he did confirm that his time on Twitch is definitely done. That's over.
100%, yeah.
But then and that he has a few options on the table. He said, obviously, for legal counsel, I have to be careful here, but I can say, however, that I will not be returning to Twitch, so I mean, that's it. And then he said, let's just say all the cards are on the table. I'm more focused on just making sure whatever we do next, whether it's a platform move or not, that it's the right decision for the community and the Champions Club that follows me. And that makes sense to what I want, and that makes sense to what I want to continue to accomplish with this character in terms of taking things to the next level, and whether it's streaming or outside of streaming. So it's just being conscientious of that decision. And then the report confirmed in an email that Doc confirmed that he is considering streaming on his own website, championsclub.gg, and has other options like, of course, YouTube and Facebook gaming as well. And he also noted, aside from that, that he is considering legal action. So,
considering. I mean,
obviously, for him to have been giving these interviews, he's had substantial legal counsel to be able to even go out and do this.
Yeah.
So whatever the lawyers have at this point, they obviously feel like whatever the removal was not particularly strongly founded, especially if he's even thinking about legal action. They must have some idea if he's even formulating the idea of possibly seeking legal action against Twitch. So it's not a lot more information that we didn't already have, but things like him saying, still saying that he doesn't know what's going on, doubling down on that, confirming that he is in fact done on Twitch, personally or otherwise, mentioning that he may even stream on his own website would be fucking substantial. That's no small undertaking, but somebody the size of Doc could probably pull it off within reason, I would imagine. And again, that he is considering legal action. Those are the major notes here. And then the only other thing I can think of is that he's talking about whether it's streaming or outside of streaming, because we know that he has like a cartoon coming about the character and things of that nature. So he may very well be considering fucking off from streaming altogether. Yeah. And just running this character outside of the streaming world and just running the business from that angle and just getting the dollars out of it that he can and just being done. Because we all know he could retire any day he wants at this point. Doesn't really matter. But I don't think he strikes me as a guy who wants to retire that early. I think he still wants to work. So,
unless he's been blowing all of his money. I mean, I have no idea.
Yeah, we have no idea. He could be blowing his money, but
he could be blowing all of his money, and he might need the job. But I mean, he's likely made enough that, if I wouldn't really say retirement in terms of like never work again, but he's probably in a position where he can do what he wants and his family's taken care of. It's more than likely. I think ultimately what's going to happen is Doc knows why he's been banned, without a doubt. Whether Twitch told him or not, the guy fucking knows. He knows what's going on. And there's a very, very high probability that, there's NDA signed. There's a big legal thing going on right now. And he would never tell you even if. And, if it's something really bad or it's something that he feels as though can be covered up through the lawyers that may never come out, then of course he's going to play it off and say, hey, I have no idea what this is for, and just never bring it up again. But I highly, highly doubt that it'll stay a secret forever. Do I see Doc going to the championsclub.org or whatever his website is? I only see that happening if Doc plans to stream occasionally and then do like his Hollywood thing. Because if he decides to go full time like he was on Twitch on his own website, he doesn't have that traffic through. Sure, he'll be successful. Sure, he'll make more than most of us do by a substantial margin, but his growth will be stunted. It'll essentially, he'll be in that tub we've always talked about, where it's the same viewers circling that tub, and more hype and action will go on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook, and people will just be more drawn over to those places until eventually he will slow down and ultimately be forgotten to a degree, to the point where he's no longer thriving, he's surviving or just maintaining, which he might be okay with depending on where in his career he wants to go. But I think if he wants to go full time again and want to be a daily streamer and get on those hypes and get the thing going, he's got to go to YouTube. And that's ultimately where he will go. Depending on how serious the thing is, YouTube just may not sign a exclusivity deal. They might just say, hey, you know what? You can stream on my my website and do whatever you want, but I'm not gonna like pay you. You know what I mean? Like we're not gonna sign a 2-3 year deal for $20-30 million. You can just stream on it like everybody else. Because there's tons of people on YouTube that have controversies around them that are like known fucking, you name it under the sun. And YouTube isn't about to shadow ban him, or just completely, cancel him like Twitch did. They'll still allow him to stream on the platform. He won't get like a Ninja deal or a, whoever deal. That's my 2 cents. But who knows?
Yeah, it's the fact that he's even doing these interviews. So if there was a gag order, let's say on Twitch, and it was a federal crime, and that's why it's a gag order and why Twitch hasn't said anything to him, I have to assume that Doc's own legal counsel would have sussed that out, and he wouldn't have even given these interviews. Yeah. So I think that the fact that these have happened plays more to the theories that we were talking about last time, where we were discussing that it was probably a business deal that he was working on the side, that Twitch found out about, wasn't a big fan of, and found any reason they could within their TOS to just get rid of him. And then not say anything, because if they don't say anything, then it's whatever. And eventually, like everything else on the internet forgets, and it just goes into fucking obscurity as he goes to some other platform, and it's off their hands.
Yeah.
What that deal is, fuck if I know. I'm certain. I mean, if it goes to court, shit's gonna be public. We're gonna know about it. If it goes to court but they settle, we're not gonna know very much about it, because it's gonna be settled outside, and there will be an NDA sign that says, "Hey, we settled. We paid you your money. You gotta shut up now." But whatever it is, it's going to continue to have the internet fucking scratching their head over the shit, because it's
wild, bro.
It's wild.
It's wild.
It's fucking wild.